And as I didn't know these were non-removable steps, I took them out. And look at the crap underneath. Welcome to the video, everybody, and now let me introduce you to the 2005 Alpha C with the non-removable steps removed, the old inverter that we're replacing, and as you see, this was awful. But from now on, you will see the new inverter installed. Here we go.
So, let me explain what's going on here before we go into reassembling this. We're currently mocking everything up to see that everything works, and everything actually works. So this is the main inverter charger. This is the control panel of the inverter charger. This is a DC to DC charger, and this is a power voltage monitor that I just hooked up for the purpose of actually see what's going on. Now, there's also one of these little guys that, thanks to one of the guys in the forum, Bonus, thank you, he actually came up with the idea of using one of these, and I'll show you what this is. This is actually a double throw relay, which makes for a great application in this particular condition. It's got 3 legs, and you will see it in the power diagram, or you have seen it in the power diagram. Basically, you have 1 leg, and then you have 2 legs. Now, if you have no power here, this leg is connected to this leg. The minute you apply power here, electrical magnet forces this down, and now your power is connected here. So this leg connects to this leg. I got one of these there, right down there. Now, this is what is going on.
The system as it comes from the factory connects the alternator and the chassis battery directly to your house batteries, which means that when the alternator is running, I have measured 120 amps going straight to the batteries. That is too much load for the alternator. So I put a relay in it. And this is how the diagram looks with the relay. So when the engine is on, I activate the relay, and the connection between the alternator and the house batteries goes through a DC to DC charger. The DC to DC charger will limit the amount of power that goes from the alternator to the batteries to only 40 amps. Now, this is a one direction flow. So when the engine is off, the relay changes and connects the circuits directly. So at that moment, the inverter is capable of charging my house battery bank and my engine's battery. Now, keep in mind, if you have LFP4 batteries, any type of lithium batteries, your alternator will always be taxed charging the batteries. That's why you need to have a DC to DC converter installed. Otherwise, you're taxing the inverter, you're taxing the alternator.
Okay, so the batteries were drained. I let the batteries discharge. It was to the point in which the batteries shut down, the BMS is shut down. I started the engine. As the engine started, as you see, the green light in the DC to DC charger came on, and I got 40 amps coming out of the alternator going into the batteries. Right now the batteries are sitting at 11.5 volts. Now, if I stop the charging, the batteries are barely running. I got no power going through. Now, if I allow the alternator to go directly to the batteries, I got 115 amps, 110 amps going straight into the batteries.
Okay, let's look at the reality of this. When your alternator is powering your batteries and charging your batteries, it's never going to achieve enough voltage to charge your batteries completely. And because of the way that the LFP4 batteries work, they will always be calling for power. They will be calling for at least 70, 80 amps or more, as much as the alternator will provide. When this happens, your alternator will be taxed at 100% all the time. This will eventually put a lot of strain, a lot of stress in your alternator, your voltage regulator, all your electrical circuit. You need to have a voltage regulator. The power systems on 12 volt side was not designed to have lithium batteries. So that's why you need to have a protection so you do not overtax your alternator systems. Now, besides that, here is how the process works and how the project looked, with the steps that were not supposed to be removable, but if you take the screws and you pull right up, it will come off, and you seal the bay completely, and then you put it back down, and now it's finished. Hope it helps you in any way, and thanks for watching the video.